Good evening, all you lovely people. We'll be live in just a moment. Give me just a couple of minutes to make sure I have everything in order, and we will be ready to rock. Hope that everybody is doing good. We should have a very, very interesting conversation tonight. Give me just a moment. Mel. Now we get this party started. So first and foremost, I hope that everybody is doing well. I hope that everybody is okay. Whether you're in Texas, whether you're in Houston, whether you are anywhere in the world, we live in crazy times. So I hope that everybody is, dealing with things as best they can. But I hope you ain't dealing with nothing. I hope that everything is good for you, ultimately. About 30 seconds, and we will be ready to go real live. Finish my water. light my candle. Yeah, I'll set this. Y'all ain't ready for this yet. Let me make sure it's in the front here. All right, 30 seconds and we will be live. Everybody give me a good, if you're live and kicking, give me a what's the motherfucking deal in the chat. If you stumble by here on accident, well, you wouldn't know what that means now, would you? All right, just a moment. Give me just a second. My camera might be tripping here. It's my damn, it's this extender I have, and for whatever reason, it doesn't always get the power that it needs, and it kind of shortens out a bit. So let me just make sure. Just a second. Gotta kind of run a little alternative program in the background, make sure everything's good. But while we're doing that, let us see. Jabari, what's the motherfucking deal? HT Jason 512. Where's that S12? I ain't got my glasses on. I can't tell. What's the motherfucking deal? Sweet Berry. The berry is sweet. How are you doing this evening, ma'am? The lovely Secretary of the Den, the lovely Miss Sarah Lou. How are you this evening? Always good to see you. Benno. They put a buy in that right before the video. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's see. Let me, like I said, I may have to look. Pardon me if it gets a little weird if I unplug the wrong thing. Got a bunch of wires. I really should organize them a little bit better. So if I unplug the wrong thing, the mic shouldn't go out because it's on a different thing. But just bear with me. Let me get this camera acting right. I should have checked right before the stream. That's what I get for believing that everything is going to be the way it was when I left it. Because knowing that then always something just goes wrong. All right, this is the right one. I don't know why it says this is a 2.0 source, and this is definitely a 3.0 source. Let's see. Looks good. Looks like that should be. Right. So when I move it, this fucking shit freezes the fuck up. All right. Let me see what's going on here. Give me just 1 second. This ain't one fucking thing. It's another. Right, give me a second. I'm gonna jump to the main screen again. You might hear the music for just a second. I'm gonna cut it off though. Give me just a. All right, I know you're looking like, oh, it looks just the same as the other screen, Honcho. Just mine is your ugly mug. Just give me a second. Like I say, with this, I'm gonna have to figure this little dilemma out. Everything else is good. Let's do this and this. I hate this. Got too many damn program things going on. This should be this. That should be that. Okay. Here. Let's try this. See if this shows up for us. It does not. Oh, you know why? Because I had the wrong fucking thing going. This should be, that's a different camera. And yet, for whatever reason, still does not appear to be showing. Let's do this. That's not it. Let's check this. So, welcome to my new channel, Honcho's Troubleshooting. I hope that you enjoy it. Okay, let's try this. Let's exit that out. Deactivate, reactivate. There we go. All right. There we go, people. Still looks a little more odd than I like it, but it is what it is. Good evening. Good evening. Good to see all of you lovely, wonderful people. And as always, it is my honor, my privilege, but more than anything, it truly is my pleasure to get to chop it up with you lovely folks. Every opportunity we get, I know last couple of days hadn't been where it's supposed to be. Let me reset this too. Reset the thing. I tell you, I hadn't even but I've got to the point sometimes where when I don't touch the computer, like I will not touch the computer, I won't be on the phone. Like I will just stay away from things because the world is just crazy, and I don't think the world. I think since a lot of these devices and things that we have now, people aren't living as much. They're looking. They're doing more looking than living, right? And these devices are doing exactly what they're designed to do. And I don't want to go into unique theory situation, Honcho, but sometimes I feel like it's going to be a point where we end up there, right? Because it's just everything that's happening around you right now, right? You'd have to be foolish to not think that some of this is by design, right? Let me see. Got a couple of things I need to re-add to clean this up. Okay, there we go. So, you know how we rocking now. And like I say, for those who haven't been here, those who have been, I've kind of applied a new standard, right, for the benefit of everybody. So the goal is 50 a stream, whether it be Super Chat, the Streamlabs link, or whatever it may be. If we don't reach half the goal by the first hour, then we'll just do an hour of content. It'll be all good, so that way people still get the content that they love and enjoy. But we do reach the goal, then we'll open up the lines and we'll make sure we get the full 2 hours in. And again, it's just a matter of having to value time now because time is precious, right? And a few of the things that I have going on outside of the streaming are very time consuming, if you will. But also, because I know I missed the other day, I was thinking about maybe doing a day. I feel I kind of owe the sauce a day in actually. We're tasting the sauce tomorrow, so we may go. If you focus the sauce, we may go early and for a while tomorrow because I know it's been a while. If you don't know what the sauce is, shame on you. It's probably not relatable to you anyway. Give me just a second. If you're not a Houston Texas fan or a fan of Houston sports. Okie dokie. Let's see. Lovely Miss K Grace. Miss K Garcia. Always good to see you. Miss Grace left a great comment on I think the one of the video they were talking about drugs and I was going on all that rant. Left a very good comment on that. I want to expound into that comment very soon. Very soon. So I thank you for that. And J-Mail, you're absolutely right. It like the likelihood is 72%, and I was probably just like fuck it at that point in time. And then well, here we are now. You know what I'm saying? Here we are. And the sauce, I'm gonna be doing some things different with the sauce too. Like I said, I'll talk about it all tomorrow. Um, just because of other things that I got going on. Um, so let's get into it. So I don't know if you guys are seeing it, and I'm starting to hear more and more calls to the point where I feel like it's imminent. To the point where I feel like tomorrow or by Monday, you're going to hear that Joe Biden is dropping out of the race, right? And you know, people I'm been seeing it on a day to day, they'll tell you like I've been saying this since the debate. Like really watching him. One, if you continue to push for him and since the debate, I mean it's elder abuse. The man has lost it. The man lost it before he started his term. He was out of there halfway through the term. And if you're expecting this guy to
Can't
go
wait for
another
the
full
DNC
term,
convention. It is going to be a shit show.
shout out to Dan, the motherfucking man with a plan. Say can't wait for the DNC convention. It's going to be a shit show, and I appreciate the Dan donation. I haven't watched any of the RNC. Like I was gonna say when I back off, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, even then, like when I back off the electron, like I know I can be either all in. 'Cause I love electron. I love tinkering with shit. I love fucking with computer. I thoroughly enjoy that. Right, not only just being on the internet, but I'm definitely rusty with some of my language and things like that, admittedly. But I just have a natural passion for it. Right, it intrigues me. Right, some people like fucking with cars. I like fucking with computers. Um, So, but like electronics as a whole, I've kind of taken a step back. So when I'm kind of in my little other space, um, and I have not really watched any television. I haven't watched any of the RNC, and I wanted to. So I'm gonna definitely have to get some highlights. And admittedly, I've been seeing some things about JD Vance. I've seen some of the more. I gotta come up with. I gotta see. I got good terms and good slang for like everybody. I gotta come up with some good racist white people euphemisms. I don't have any. I haven't been applying myself, but I'll come up with something either before the end of the evening or before too long, right? Because we gotta address it. Like, no, I don't believe all white people are racist. I think most niggas use racism and racist and just so fucking loosely. It's retarded. But there are those, right? Like we have to. There are those, and we would be foolish not to acknowledge. But when we're talking about those whites, um, there are some of them who are very unhappy because I believe what is JD Vance. I believe his. I feel like I got to fucking sneeze. His wife is a brown. He's married to a brown. Excuse me. Grief. He's married to a brown. Shout out to Dan the man. Say I saw much of the RNC convention. Pretty decent. I'm waiting for the DNC convention. It's gonna be a damn a damn Jerry Springer episode. Speaking of fucking Jerry Springer. And I saw a clip come across my timeline. Thank you for the Dan donation. Shout out to Dan the man. Um, I saw an episode. Well, it was like a clip, and it was a starving brother. That brother was starving. Uh, I guess Jerry used to have some off the wall episodes, and there was one I don't know for whatever reason. It was a big black woman in a tub of fettuccine or some shit like that. And the dude's like, "Man, I ain't eat lunch today, man. Can I have some of that fettuccine to go?" I'm talking about a very large, a very large black woman in a fucking little blow up outside pool tub full of fettuccine. Jerry had the oddest shit going on his show. And Jerry Springer was the internet before the internet. He just brought it all together for us. All the odds, the ends,
I just saw much of
the
the RNC
fakery
convention.
that
Pretty
comes on.
decent. But I'm
Why is the
waiting for the
thingy thing not
DNC
thinking?
convention. It's gonna be a damn Jerry Springer episode.
Oh. Appreciate the donation. You all got samurai. I ain't have a fucking thing on. But Did it do what it's supposed to? It ain't doing like it's supposed to. It's supposed to cut it in and then cut out like after 10 seconds. So, maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But yeah. Shout out to Dan. Man, Trill. We got to talk about some things. We got to talk about what's been going on with Port Arthur lately. I sent you the song. Right? um, let me see. But yeah, so he's asked for the top fettuccine, but I can only wait and see because it's going to be. You're actually right now. I think it's going to be a clusterfuck because you're going to have people. If Biden has to. When does it start? Next week? Is it next month? Biden is going to either resign or they're going to pull the rug from under Joe Biden by the end of the week. I was saying Monday. I believe that it happens before Sunday. I believe before the weekend's up, like probably tomorrow. Don't be surprised. Do not be surprised. You hear something tomorrow because it's just so much. Like even a lot of the left wing media is starting to have these calls. Notably, liberal actors and actresses are starting to speak out. Yeah, like you're seeing shit all over the place, right? And the support that once was is no longer. I'm gonna shout out to Professor Trill, even though I don't know that nigga. Shout out to Bunny. Good to see you, ma'am. Always good to see the Bunny. Solis. Don't call the police. Call immigration. What's the motherfucking deal, Solis? Good to see you. Yeah, I saw that. Right? So it's just, and that's the funny shit. It's probably gonna try to promote all kind of Biden bullshit. Luckily, I'm here to do the good work. But here's my deal, right? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that being a possibility. Fuck, I'm giving fuck seats. It might be the shirt. I might be allergic to the shirt. I don't want to sneeze and get boogers all over the place. That would be disgusting. But let's say that he doesn't endorse Kamala Harris as a vice president. Is that not a slap in the face of all the black women who were wearing the mailboxes and shit dancing and motherfuckers who was doing the electric slide? Like, is that not a slap in the face of progress that a woman that you would nominate for your vice presidential position, a position that would be, taken over had something unfortunate happen to him, whether illness or just the inability to continue to lead or, possible death, anything. This would be the person that you chose because you felt that they were qualified enough to be president of the United States behind you. But now the rumor is that you wouldn't even endorse them. And again, anybody with an iota of brain cell left, right, would know that Joe, if anybody has been played, right, if anybody has been played this election cycle, whatever you want to call it, it was black women by Joe Biden. He used them to get where he wanted because he know that this is it's a large base. There's more black women than black men, right? And then if you count black men who you can kind of count them with black women. So then you have a significant number of them. You have a lot of blacks who are just politically inept, right? And then you have straight black men who just don't want to deviate from the black pussy. I can't disagree with black women because then I'd be a cool with my mama and everybody in my family, like who don't have the testicles to stand on their own and make a decision and do what's best for themselves. And you had a small number of black men who said, fuck it. We're family oriented. We want things to go back as they were. We see through the bullshit with BLM. We see all the nonsense going on. This is not the future that we want to have for our youth, for our children. And they deviated, right? But to all those who were pro Joe gotta get another term. I'm rooting for Joe. He's the one, and he's so strong. And when you see this man literally falling apart on stage, defecating himself allegedly, shaking hands with ghosts. Again, and I'm hearing that Obama has rescinded his support, right? And I think he was very reluctant to even support him last time. It was like a last minute thing. But you had all the black women, remember, they said that they saved America because they voted for Joe Biden. Do you remember that? Y'all remember the people dancing in trash cans? When when basically for blacks, the blacks, I'm using that now, the blacks. Um, Joe basically did the equivalent of what Obama did for you niggas, right? First and foremost, let me say something. I don't trust black people who use the term POC. They have been fully indoctrinated. They are no longer an ally to me. You know what I mean? Um, right? Because I think you have to differentiate groups because different groups have different fucking problems, right? When you start lumping everything in together, that's the disrespect to me, personally. If I was Asian, Hispanic, any other nationality, background, whatever you want to call it, just to be lumped into a group, we're all just one group, and we isolate and separate the whites. Um, I think that's kind of dismissive. Just my personal opinion. I think that we should address these things. Obama's DNCG, the flim flam. You know what? That's how I will address. Once Biden is replaced, once Biden is replaced by whomever, the scary thought should be Newsom, right? Like the scary thought to even give him a possibility to try to be in charge, because we already know where he is. Like if you haven't, like Californians will sit there and brag on California all they want to. You know, you can have your earthquakes, you can have all of this stuff. I'm cool with that. Um, but there's a reason so many of them, and again, I'm not talking about this California who's still there. I guess you got to like it or you just don't have an option. But those who've left, they'll brag on California has this, California, but why aren't you living there? Why don't you stay there now? Why don't you? Because there's better opportunity elsewhere. Interesting. Um, but I don't know. Like if you've heard some of the off the wall things Newsom has created, Newsom has enacted. So after they already tried to force so many people to get the electric vehicles, right? It's gotten to the point where there are so many electric vehicles, they're not really profiting off taxing on gas. So they started this trial program, I believe started this year, where basically they're tracking the mileage of electric vehicle users and taxing the mileage. Right? Imagine someone taxing you to try to make you become more efficient. Then you become more efficient and you get taxed for being more efficient. When does it stop? When does it stop, right? Did you say what is that? I'm not sure. People of Curry. People of Curry. Terrible one. Good to see you one. Glad that you could be here. But I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. Let me see. Let me see. Make sure. Brandon Anderson, what's the motherfucking deal? You got some Oreo cookies? I'm glad you made that point. Give me. I got you. Give me just un momento. So I gotta start going on my man. Look, don't tell niggas about the bathhouse berry thing, right? You had motherfuckers come out and I mean these are blatant. People have come out and said, who was the guy? Think he did. I don't care how y'all feel. I don't care if you talk Fox News or not. It's not anything about that. Tucker Carlson, ever since he's been kind of, I won't say an independent, we kind of, I think, know where his stances are, but ever since he's been kind of doing his own thing, has had some great interviews, right? He did interview a guy who said that he did certain drugs and certain activities with a former African president. How you feel about that? You believe it's true or not? It's up to you. Too many stipulations, too many allegations. Seen former girlfriends come out with letters and things that he said. Again, me personally, I've gotten to the point where, look, man, or I would say I've been at this point. Like I don't care where you're placing your genitals. Just don't put it on anything that I have to touch. You know what I'm saying? What you want to do with them, that's your business, right? And it shouldn't determine somebody's character. To each his own. You know, we'll get to that's a whole nother video. But it's not about this or that. If that's what you do, that's what you do. But it's crazy how, like I say all the time, it's one side, and when they do actually utilize black men, they usually use them for, excuse me, homosexual purposes or promoting a homosexual agenda, right? Because what did Barack do? What did Barack do to advance black people during his term in any way, form, or because I want to understand what representation really values. So we're talking about representation at the highest level, leader of the free world. What advancement did it do? What did it change? Can anybody maybe help me out with that? Now I would say this, that I would rather that representation that, hey man, you could be president of the United States if that's your goal, if that's your dream, than saying, hey, you could be a rapper, right? But again, again, right? It's a situation where it means nothing. The Kamala Harris thing meant nothing. I'm not a super political person. And again, until recently, maybe let's say 2016 onward, somewhere around, Trump running and the ladies like, I wouldn't even say I cared too much when Obama was there. Like, it is what it is. I've never seen, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, maybe you guys are different. Maybe this was in the era before television was a thing. I've never seen a president and vice president who came across as so distant from one another at any point in time. Like, to me it's odd, right? Because I don't ever see them in the same rooms. I don't see them in the same, like, and the one time I did, Obama's, there was like a little DNC deal and everybody's ignoring Biden, right? You don't see them in the same room. At least she could be a handler. Like, she could be a caregiver, right? A very well paid caregiver, something. Because I never see them in the same environment. I never see them together. Let's see. Before they got him replaced. But yeah, and that's the thing, right? Because what I said, I've said it before. I say it more probably in the conversations I have in day to day life. But I talk about, and I mentioned this the other day, that black people don't manufacture anything but cool. But we don't own it. We make it, and we give it out freely, and then get mad when other people utilize it for profit. We manufacture cool. So if you can push black gays to the forefront, then you made gay cool, right? Because they're gonna always do, niggas is already over the top. Flamboyant gay men are already over the top. You put flamboyant gay with over the top nigga and sprinkle in a little bit of that badly raised single mom behavior. I'm not saying all single mom, I'm talking about specifically the badly raised ones. The niggas who got more uncles than they got any other family member, right? They only see the niggas 1 to 2 times a year. And you're gonna create this thing, right? And then what happens if you say something about it? One, if they're black, you're attacking black people and black culture. They tie all this shit in together and try to make it a nice little bow and try to get you to support and try to make you look like a bad guy if you call it out. Anyway, I say all this to say that's basically all Obama gave you, was the ability to go to your friends who may be in the multi-alphabet community. You can go to their weddings now. Here's fucking Steve. Not bad. I knew it was coming, and it was right there, like it's just on the edge. It's just like, I don't want to fucking jump on and click back off. It look real weird. But anyway, so he gave you the ability to go to your friends who may be a part of that community. He gave you the ability to go to their weddings. That's cool, right? If that's what you're down with. Um, let's see. But yeah, it's really weird, right? It's super odd, right? And then, like I say, it's so much. I don't want to go into that. Like, I'll get on my black high horse tomorrow. Is my black high horse? Is it Black Beauty? Maybe we'll find out. But no, but the thing about Biden, right? But getting back to where this all started, is that if he doesn't endorse Kamala, whatever the fuck her name is, if he doesn't endorse Kamala, And I'm sure she'd be willing to do anything to get that endorsement, as we've seen in the past before. But if he doesn't endorse her, what is that saying? What is that saying to all the people who voted for Joe Biden, right? Believing his pro POC rhetoric, right? The man who's had the most off putting White House cabinet I think anybody's ever seen. And I'm not saying that there haven't been politicians in the past who have had people who were corrupt, who were fucked up, who were into all kind of miscellaneous devious deeds, right? I'm not counting it out, but you have some here who are so blatantly shit. You had the one who was stealing stuff from black women, the bald head dude who wore the dresses, right? You know what I'm saying? I don't know though, right? Like I don't know. Like I'm trying to see if I can create a new card, right? Because I'm gonna be honest, black card ain't what it used to be, right? Does American Express even still offer the black card? Niggas don't even want that black card no more, right? But here we are. But coming back to Joe, and if he is gone, like who do you think? Who would you believe? Who would you consider being his replacement? Because if your vice president is not your replacement, then who is? Right? And then again, but as soon as you get the shirt, as soon as you get that shirt, it's gonna be outdated because they're gonna add some more later. They're just gonna might as well throw the whole alphabet in reverse on that motherfucker. Pardon me. So let me see here. Oh, seems very dangerous. Seems like I'm gonna inhale some kind of wax or something. Um, but again, so here we are, right? And it's concerning because what's gonna happen is now you're getting somebody's getting thrown into getting possibly thrown into a race, right? Possibly, possibly getting thrown into a race that they were not prepared for. You're going to have people who are going to be supporting whatever candidate who they were not like. You're going to have a person who's ill prepared because it's not that far out, right? What do we got? July, and we're halfway through July, August, September, October, November, a couple of months, right? And that's slightly enough time. But like I said, you got the DNC coming up. You got your nominations coming up, right? And you're thinking you're rolling with the same party, but again, what happens? What if Biden's convinced he's going to live long enough to have to face up to the crimes he's committed? I don't want to be in a cell with Hunter. Did I say that? Did I say that out loud? Um. So my deal is, mm, mm, my deal is that I don't know, right? Because again, you have enough people who are I ain't fucking with Joe. I don't necessarily fuck with Trump, but I know I'm wasting a vote on Joe. Um, who may consider someone else coming in for whatever other reason just to say they didn't vote for Trump, right? Because like even with the last election, I believed it was more Trump hate than Biden quality. You know what I mean? I believe it was more people who disliked Donald Trump than people who liked Joe Biden. And then I also believe there was a lot of extra anonymous votes that came from God knows where, right? But here we are. I think that I think that I want to feel like at this point Trump got it right. But again, we have a lot of people in a lot of places who are either like you. Let me, and I hate this. I hate because I try to go back to nigga logic. right? I try not to go back to nigga logic. But I've like I said, I have conversations with people, and these conversations tend to piss me off because I attempt to be a rational person. And I'm trying to get back to that middle ground, right? Because people feel the way they do for a reason. But when it comes to having a conversation, the niggas voting Trump, shit like that, I run into these niggas, and their whole premise is well, we just won't vote. Their logic is if you don't vote for the motherfuckers who you've been voting for the last 60 or so years, because you haven't gotten what you want, you just won't vote. Wouldn't it be better? And y'all correct me if I'm wrong. This is just my personal thinking. And again, I'm always up to hear somebody else's thoughts on this, other interpretations of this, whatever. But to me, wouldn't it be better to show that you're willing to vote for the other guy, that you're willing to leverage your vote into something, even if you're not? Because here's the thing: if you're not getting shit from the other guy who just never told you he was going to give you shit, versus you're not getting shit from the motherfucker who tells you every 2-4 years that they're going to give you all this and never do it. Just give us another chance because they didn't let us do it. Like, wouldn't it make more sense to say, hey, look, bitch, if you're not finna give me no pussy, I'm gonna go fuck with this bitch over here. You know what I'm saying? And see what she talking about, right? Because you keep promising me some and you don't ever fucking give me none. Right? You just got me out here looking like a fool, sipping my votes off to you. Now, you might not like my analogy, but it is what it is. Like, why not? Why wouldn't you show that you're willing to get? But people say, no, we just won't vote. So, if either party wins without you, then you just realize your vote has become irrelevant. Like, it doesn't even matter. At least give it the semblance of meaning something. Right? Oh yeah, they still. Please, yeah. No check. I've been seeing it with no check, no vote, no. If anybody's giving you reverence, sure as shit ain't the Democrats. Like that shit don't even add up. They're too busy filming OnlyFans in the fucking White House. Tell them to give you part of their fucking OnlyFans check. How about that? Like, that's all I'm saying, right? It's to the point where it's gotten ridiculous, right? Like, niggas just refuse. Like, they know they got you played. Like, if they know for a fact that you're just willing to not vote for the other guy as a vote for them, right? Basically, and that's the problem. Is like them niggas, they niggas, whatever niggas. Like, they're just unwilling to use any leverage that's been given, right? And so now I'm not gonna say it. This is not a new announcement. I'm actively separating myself from niggas. I don't be dealing with niggas like that in the first. Like, as soon as I see the signs of niggerdom, gotta go. Gotta cut ties. Right? Um I posted something the other day. We'll come back to this. If you don't follow me on the gram, you should. I'm gonna start doing things on the gram. I promise. But basically, I don't think I mentioned the other day, but basically it was some chick opened up a beauty salon, something like that. And they're talking about, oh, she got murdered the day she opened it. Backstory: this bitch was with a nigga who was in a gang. Basically, allegedly he was abusive. She had him killed. Like, that's why I don't think it was abusive. The abusiveness is some extra women will throw in there. Women will use that just to get leverage. He was abusive. He looked at me one day and didn't tell me I was pretty. He was emotionally abusive, like some stupid shit. Um, Allegedly he was abusive. Anyway, somehow I believe she killed him or had killed, whatever. I think she killed him, whatever. Was in witness protection. This dumb bitch makes a diss track about him and some other shit. This dumb bitch decides to come out of witness protection to open up a nail store and promote the music. That bitch got annihilated at her grand opening. So at first I initially saw the just the clipping of it. Then I saw the video. You people or modern niggas, bro. I'm gonna have to check it out. I ain't gonna play because they've been hitting me with some from my last from the Burrow stream. They hit me with some old bullshit. But yeah, I seen it was like 3 or 4 niggas just standing there at the party, like shiesty mask on and all, looking at each other all weird. It's a bunch of hoes. This is a beauty salon, nigga. There's little kids running around, but they're playing trash ass music. So you already know what's shaking, right? Like you already know what's going down. And then next thing you know, shots fired, man down. But I don't feel any remorse, right? And it can sound super fucked up, right? You feel how the fuck you want to. Like, I'm tired of feeling remorse. People, I know sometimes people have to go through their phases, they go through their stages. If you'd called me at a different time in life, you might be like, this guy's a real live piece of shit. Or you might be like, I like this guy. Or, people go through things, right? But we all have a general understanding of good, bad, happy, sad, all that shit. I'm not rocking with nobody who's actively promoting negativity, bro. Like I got nothing to do with it. Like I don't. Like as a person, if you talk to somebody and all everything they got to, well, he had a bad day. Be like, I can't talk to you. You're depressing. Or you just you promote negative about everybody around us. Like, I don't be hearing this. Like I know I come on here and I say some of the worst things I shouldn't probably be saying. But in reality, let me word this. Let me word this accurately. I love people, right? And I don't think love should be a hard thing to do. Like then there's a difference between love and in love, but love should not be a hard thing to do. Like I I overwhelmingly wish the best for everybody, except a couple of people. And I had to come to that conclusion not that long ago. But anyway, but for the old, like I think we're allowed there. Like we're allowed to have like maybe 10. I think like again, it's like the slap rule I made the other day. I think like you should be allowed 2 every 10 years, right? Like you're allowed to have like 2 more. You're allowed to hate like 2 extra people every 10 years. So like when you're like 10, you can have like 2 kids you don't like in class. They hate your crayons, or you like in your 20s, you don't work with some motherfuckers. So it's just like that one bitch from high school, and then like that one coworker who I was just kissing. Like you're allowed to add some people to your hate list, and you can still have 2 kids. Like you have 4. At the age of 20, 30, you get like 6, 40, you get 8, and so on. That's your oldest. And, by you got time to get to 100 or whatever else, you're just going to say what you want to say anyway. But you should be able to have like a hate list, right? And you should have a decent amount. I only got a couple on mine. I don't hate, just really, really dislike this. Hate is a terrible word. But anyway, yeah, we off track. I got, like, I done got way off track. Shout out to 12. Good evening. Always good to see you. Yeah, I mean, and it's just, but like I said, I've just got to the point where I can't deal with negativity. Like that shit is draining, right? I've definitely found out that I find a lot of peace in isolation. So when I go into my little zones, I guess you want to call it whatever, I find peace and self discovery in isolation. Yeah, so that's why I get away from the internet because I see too much dumb shit and too much off the wall shit and all this. But anyway, like I said, you still gonna have them niggas though who are going to find a way to justify. You still got them even before. I saw niggas after debate. So I was like, he had a strong debate. He's just old, and when you're old, sometimes you stutter, and sometimes you forget your word. I mean, it's just a natural thing with an old man. If I was a few years younger than Biden, was obviously significantly more sharp, just stinging him with the little barbs, the little quips here and there. When you hear them speak, and I mean, in various places, and then, like I say, the mental acuity to take advantage of the situation. And it was a video I wanted to show you. Let me see if I can pull it up on Twitter because I meant to save it before the thing, and I did not because it had reset towards something. And they were showing the trajectory, right? Basically, I mean, they were showing the trajectory where the guy had the shot, and literally, like by him turning, I mean, it's crazy, like. And to see people you have out here celebrating and all this, these would be the same people pissing and crying if it had to been the other way around. We're talking about MAGA's dangerous. The MAGA's this. It's a cult. They would be saying all of this same stuff, right? If it would have been an attack on their guy, they'd be crying about all this shit. But when people say, "Hey, it's one of yours," or when it's one of those Biden voters who has flipped the script, assigned a new gender, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, then we don't have any. We don't want to talk about it, right? Because there's been multiple of those. We've had a bunch of trans troublemakers over the Biden era. That's like a new type of deal. But anyway, trying to convince niggas, right? And I don't think that you truly can. I don't think that you truly can, because niggas are so set in their ways. Like I say, when it comes back to the cool, niggas don't want to do what ain't cool. But what I'm starting to see a lot of now, and you had a lot of it back then. You had a lot of niggas doing the MAGA grift thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wish. I sometimes I sit and I sincerely wish I had the ability to be a grifter. Like and it sounds terrible, right? But I mean, these motherfuckers eating real good over some bullshit, right? Like I wish I could. I just don't. Like, I wouldn't say I don't have the ability to do so. Like, I'm sure the ability's there. I just, it's just not in my character, right? Like, to me, I like, it's weird shit. Like, because even with my personal beliefs, like, I like Trump. I'm not MAGA. Never say I'm a MAGA. You know what I'm saying? Because of my personal thoughts on politicians as a whole. But I think I enjoy Trump because he came in, he shook up the game, and he says the funniest fucking shit. I like comedy more than I care about the presidential election. Right? Like, I like comedy more than I. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Even in those elements, my grifting is implausible. I've been honest, and the honesty may not work out favorably, or people thought that maybe you'd be able to change certain things, but grifting, no, never, never that. Chill out. What's the motherfucking deal? What's going down, transmakers? Let me see. Hold on one second. So again, it's just a situation where it's extremely what? No, that was the grift you set in place, and all I did was follow through with the information that I was provided. Oh man, yeah. All I did was follow through with the information I was provided. That was that was that was a compliment for a compliment. That's all it was. She was telling me, she told me she was waiting for you to come back and holler at her after the game. Oh man, terrible stuff, terrible. But again, so if it comes down to it, I want to know y'all's thoughts. If it comes down to it, and Joe Biden is somehow removed, decides to resign or rescind the position, whatever it may be, who do you personally think that they will go and get? I've heard people say they believe it would be Michelle Obama. I don't know if she has the power, right? Because for as many people, as many women as you would who say they want to see a female president, I think you have a large portion, right? I'm not going to say the majority portion. I'm not going to say most or anything like that, but I believe you have a large portion of the female voter demographic in America who do not want to be under the leadership of a woman. RFK, which is interesting because he's running what as an independent right now, right? Do you think they would be able to pull that? Like that would be very interesting. That would be very interesting, right? I would like to see it. I would definitely like to see it. Um, that would be very interesting. RFK's an interesting guy. Um, I'm still laughing about. He married a Brown. And it's funny because I just saw on Netflix something pop up. Uh, who's the guy? He's the director. Uh, this redhead, I think ginger kind of guy. Not Seth Green. Um, Ron, what's his name? Ron, what's his name? Shout out to the lovely Miss Sarah Lee. So you saw what happened by having a female as the head of the Secret Service. Epic Look, hey, I'm not gonna be the one that says women can't do the jobs men do. I'm all for it. If they want to, they can get on a testosterone regimen and all this. I mean, it's not the Olympics. They can do whatever they got to do to be the biggest, best Secret Service senoritas that they need to be. And I appreciate the den donation. Shout out to the lovely Miss Sarah. Which will be good. We're good for our halfway mark. So we definitely gonna keep on for the next hour of the den. I appreciate it. Um, yeah. So I mean, it's a situation where look, man. I think there are stigmas, and I think that there are realities. Okay, and the reality is that one, men are better protectors. We're built more so for it, right? And we're just talking about in the physical sense. I'm not saying there aren't badass bitches who can karate kick a volleyball over the mountains, right? I'm
You saw what
absolutely
happened
sure,
by having a female as the
right?
head of the Secret Service, person shrugging, female sign, person facepalming, female sign, epic fail.
That for them that the alerts talk, so I got to start making sure I don't have my headphones on. Well, yeah, thank you for the support. Um, like there's just certain places, like, and I look at it the same way, right? If I was somebody of immense wealth or you know power or something like that, whether you're in the mob, whether you're in politics, whether you're an entertainer, whether whatever, you're gonna want the biggest, most solid individual. Like I don't care if you're fucking quick draw McGree, right? Because every encounter might not be a fucking shootout. It might be some hand to hand shit going on, right? I don't care if you know all 27, 34, however many pressure points there are, cool beans. It's just the image that shit gives off, right? It's just the perception that certain things give off. And I think as Americans, we should know the value of perception because that's mostly what makes this country run and run terribly. Uh, because there's so many things that can be better, but we always choose the thing that looks the best. But anyway, we don't get to like one. There's no. Are you know how embarrassed, how unproud to be an American I would be if you saw Kamala Pearls and Chuck's Harris get up there and like be giving a speech to the world or some kind of imminent threat going on in America. She just starts giggling that little goofy ass laugh. Like and it's the same broad to say she played Beyonce Lemonade at the cookout. Like, see, black women, y'all be wanting these extra high standards for black men. Y'all let black women slide with just some anything. It's terrible. How about Beyonce? Dude, you gonna put on some Frankie Beverly and made him trip your motherfucking. Anyway, um, that would be embarrassing. Like, how would you feel in that moment? Like, what would you feel? You know what I mean? Like, what would you? as an American, like, what if this was an important, like I can only imagine. I can only imagine if remember 9/11, and some of y'all like 9/11. How old do you think I am? Like 9/11. Remember when they came and like tapped George Bush? He was somewhere reading a book, and then they alerted him as to what was going on. How could you imagine? Imagine for a second. Imagine Kamala Harris in that scenario, right? Imagine that taking place and that message was being relayed to Kamala. I used to be Montel Williams' side chick, Harris. Uh, bro, would you want? Come on, like imagine that. Like imagine the possibility of the and I mean, this has been a possibility the entire term. Joe Biden has been a thing. Imagine if your president used to be like a B tier talk show host side chick. You got people who are more proud to support that than entertaining the idea that Donald Trump is your president. If you disagree, I'm gonna open up the line here in just a second. Feel free to share your thoughts. Feel free if you believe that there's somebody who can do better than Joe Biden. If there's somebody you think that can defeat Trump, or if you don't think that Joe Biden's out of it all. If you think that, hey, there may be some roadblocks for Trump, whatever you may believe. Give me just a second while I get this together. Shit, I have my headset on. Playing the game. Let me go get my headset, and then we will get this. We'll get it going. Jabari, good night. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate it. Uh, exactly. And the shit she put motherfuckers away from, right? Like this how I know black folks don't read, because the mainstream media is not going to tell you these stories. They're not going to provide you. They have a narrative to give you, right? And again, with everything, excuse me, you look at and you question stuff, you got to think about like who, excuse me, is profiting, who is making money off of this situation, right? Now I say follow the money because that tends to be what it's all about. But yeah, when she came out, yeah, I smoked weed. Well, I was listening to Tupac back when I was in college. I was jamming. I got around like Tupac. Like, come on, man. Like, niggas should be offended at this point. Trump said black jobs. Motherfuckers lost their shit. They lost. What is black jobs? The Mexicans are coming to take the black jobs. Nah, y'all niggas gave the jobs away a long time ago. One, right? Two, the nigga made a statement that was not a harsh or terrible statement. And, you know, it was not a harsh or terrible statement. And niggas took it and ran with it. This nigga Joe Biden, you know how many niggas didn't know that Joe Biden, or pretend not to know, especially older folks because they're not going to play it on you, like that Joe Biden said, you're not black if you don't vote for me. If Trump said something like that, they would try to trace this nigga's lineage of racism to the beginning of time. Right? Like, it kills me how it kills me how many NPCs there are, but how the percentage of it, for us to only be 13% of the American population, I feel like black folks are like at least 47% of the NPC population. Like we're taking up numbers, bro. Like I mean, we're taking up numbers, and I just feel like this is fucking ridiculous. Why? Like it is what it is. But that's what I say. That's how you know they don't read, because this stuff is in writing. If you want to go find the information, if it ain't got bright pictures with some headlines, like niggas ain't checking it out. And then you listen to the same motherfuckers push people pushing there like everything. I look at everything like whether it's the narrative I choose to agree with or disagree with. You got to understand the narrative, right? And why? Why are they doing this? But sometimes people rather not. People want to be misled, right? People like to be deceived at this point, and I don't understand it. They say ignorance is bliss, and in a sense, I get it, but I don't know. Knowledge is power. Like, what do you want? You want bliss or you want power? All right, give me about 47 seconds. Right, let me get the headset. Take a small break. And then we're gonna get the line cracking. We're gonna talk about this, and in that time, think about what it is. Think about who you think could be the replacement. Is it going to be a replacement? Is it too late? What do you think that Democrats are going to do, and what are you expecting? Shout out to Dan the Man, because the whole time we've been on the show, I've been thinking about it. Like, with all of this inter-party chaos going on, right? Some people trying to out the old man maybe staying resilient. Like, what happens? It's such a pivotal time, right? When you talk about, like I said, the national convention, it's critical. So we're going to see what happens with that. Give me un momento, and we're going to get this party started. Well, in the meantime, let me play some of that little sweet intro music that you love so much. Like, speaking of poontang pie, the Attitude Era was peak television. The Attitude Era was peak television. Oh, I saw that little thing that I think that you posted. I saw a little bit. I didn't get to read the articles, but I saw y'all posted some things in the Discord. And if y'all ain't fuck with the Discord, we're gonna get the Discord back jumping, right? You know, without the need of a. It was different back then because it was just everybody was it was the vid and everything going on. But we gotta get the Discord back jumping. I was on crank up on a random Tubi Tuesday, but I was like, yeah, I didn't have the tube energy. I know I'm getting old. I'll be eating shit. This is that acid reflux and shit. It's a sad state of affairs. All right, 1 second, let me set my settings. I got the cool. Let's see. I'm gonna do a quick poll. I know I love the quick polls. 0 for no, 1 for yes. And I think we kind of may have did this one the other day. I may have asked the other day, but I just want to see if maybe some thoughts have shifted. Is Joe Biden on the ballot come election day? 0 for no, 1 for yes. So we'll get a quick poll going. And I'm gonna relight this. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Took me a little shot of tequila. Well, I took that slight pause. It was well worth it. So let me make sure the line is all set up. We good. That big. All right. So let me put the number up here. Lickety blow. This is going to be a crazy election. And the thing is, because most times I think that people would know, they know when their candidate doesn't have a chance, when he just doesn't have a fight, and they just kind of, it is what it is. We'll renege on this one, or we'll quit on this one, and we'll live to fight another day. But the fact that so much talk and so much is going on, that I do believe. You want to play a trivia tomorrow? You want to do a trivia game tomorrow? We ain't done a game day in a while. We can do probably do a trivia game tomorrow. I think I got some new trivia. I think I got some new trivia for y'all. I may have, I may not. We'll see. But them putting so much into this, right? Like, why not just, hey, you ain't got it. We just take the L on this one. I believe this is going to be one of the most important, if not the most important election of our lifetime. I really do believe that this is a pivoting point in not just American history, but world history. I don't know why. And again, I could just be saying this because I'm paying more attention. I mean, and everyone is to an extent. Like every time they've had every time they've had a election, it means something, right? I'm talking about power changing hands, and not just. I mean, we're talking about extreme, not mayoral, not state. We're talking about leader of the free world, right? That's the term they like to use. Changing hands, a lot of power. Um, but for some reason, this feels different. That little, what is his name, Thomas Crooks? He's a fucking crook. Um, I don't I don't know. It's something sketchy about that whole ordeal. Um, it's just a lot of odd shit going on, right? And again, I could just be imagining things. I could just be overhyping things. But for whatever reason, and I guess we don't know if the party you win wins, right? But I feel like if the Democrats do win, like there's going to be this major, like because they're just pulling all kind of shit out the hat, right? Because let's be honest, like conservatives aren't that creative. Like they don't necessarily have they're kind of laser targeted on their constituents, and it's a certain amount. Like when you're liberal, you just wide open, right? No pun intended. When you're conservative, you kind of have to have a narrow target, right? Because you're targeting a certain group of people who believe. Now, that's a large group of people who believe it, but they have certain values. Some wavering more on this side than others, but you kind of got to be cautious and careful how you approach it. But for whatever reason, I feel like it's going to be huge change. I mean, there are already huge changes, and I've been telling y'all for years about the belief in what they call dead naming and all that shit. Like it's going to become a crime soon, calling people by their wrong name. Well, if you live in a liberal state, it might already be. It's going to be a crime to call people by their former names they want to be labeled as, or their pronouns and all that stuff like that. Like people went to go to jail in England for these kind of behaviors, right? Let's see. Oh, look who's here. It's Broderick. Yeah, here's the game. Excuse me. Shout out to Ben. A lot of people want to be entertained across the board, right? Like, I just, I wish people knew the value of self, right? Like, I wish people knew what they were truly capable of, right? But let's be honest. Americans now, from what they've been historically, are docile. They're complacent. They're content. They're satisfied. Even as much as they may complain, most are not willing to go do anything different about it, right? They're not willing to go through, and the opportunities are there, right? The options are there. It's about changing behavior for most people, but Americans will not willing to do it. Um, but like I said, we're so complacent, docile. Like the entertainment is everywhere, and people don't really want to do anything. They want to complain. Like people want to complain because if not, then what? I can't feel like I'm one of the victims of the oppressive. People want to be able to complain and feel like things are bad because you can offer people solutions to damn near everything. It's written in a book somewhere, but they don't want to do the work. They want you to hand it to them. But people just want to complain because I don't know if it adds some type of value to their lives. So I secretly believe a lot of people don't even want their own candidate to win so they continue to complain about life, right? Because now everything that's going on that's bad, well, those are Trump era policies that are still in effect that are impacting us today. That's why that happened. You know, I would say everything that's going good, but I mean, being genuine, being honest, being frank. Is there anything under Joe Biden's policy, under Joe Biden's presidency, that you feel like is going better than was under Trump? Answer that for me. Well, what's the motherfucking deal? We got calling in to the den this evening.
It's Logo Lamel. What's
Logo
happening, Hunter?
Lamel hitting it from half court. What's going down, Logan?
Man, we living in crazy times, bro.
I agree.
They tried to kill it. They tried to knock off the Don, bro.
The Teflon Don. Yeah, they tried to.
They don't call him. They don't call him Teflon for nothing, though.
You feel me? Yeah. So with that going on, like when that happened, and you saw that situation take place, did that change the way you thought about anything going on with this election currently?
Nah, 'cause I knew that was coming. I mean, I knew once the smear campaign didn't work and once the felonies didn't work, it's only one option left. So I think anybody who knows their tactics knew that was coming or knew that was a possibility. Um, I'm just surprised the dude missed
Yeah. Did
from
you?
that range. Like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, I'm
That's
glad you
divine
mentioned
intervention.
that. I agree. I gotta find this video. I'm glad you mentioned that because when I say it was, it
Yeah,
was.
with the way he
Look,
moved his head at the last
and
second.
at that time, man, it was. Look, it was. It had to be some kind of. Man, because
Yeah.
it wasn't supposed to happen. Like it was something that you just say if we don't have an intelligent life or an intelligent something guiding us. I don't know, but yeah, because that shit was crazy. That shit was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Trump said many men. many,
Yeah,
many men.
that's fucking funny. Then fucking 50 playing the shit at his concert with the Trump goddamn shit on it.
yeah.
Looking
Yeah.
at his asshole. Um, let me see. But yeah, so with all this, and with the rumors of Biden possibly being booted, with the rumors of Biden at odds with the party, what do you think is going to happen? Do you think that Biden will be on the ballot election day, or do you think that the Democrats will find some way to remove him and replace him?
I think it's too late. Because for one, if you remove them, what does that tell your voting base? It tells them that you've been bullshitting this whole time. So that's a bad look. Um, then two, it's just too late in the process to try to just put somebody else in there. No, not enough people like Kamala for it to be her. Uh, Gavin Newsom's own state hates him. So how's he gonna be president? Like I said, the only viable candidate would be RFK Jr. and it's something that he proposed to run as a Democrat, but he's a little bit too real to run as a Democrat at this point. So I don't know, but I think that would be their best bet would be to put him out there if they want to sway the vote at all, because there's a good bit of people that are saying they're gonna vote for RFK anyway. So I mean, if you were to make him the because the Democrats are gonna vote for whoever you put out there. So if you combine their votes with the people that were already gonna vote for him as an independent candidate, then you have a chance. But I still think Trump will win.
Oh, shit. Okay. I'm looking for the clip. I seen one clip I just seen. I don't think I'm showing here, but you can see where the bullet fucking clips his ear. I mean, that's technology these days. You can zoom all the way the fuck up on that
Yeah.
shit. You can see where that clips his ear. But I was looking for the one that was showing like the trajectory where he turned his head so that people can see the angle from it. But
Mm.
I think I've just seen, and I think I've just seen the most hilariously, I don't even know if it's saying like racist meme that I've ever seen in my life, and it's I'm like baffled because it's I'm trying my best not to really bust out fucking laugh. It's fucking hilarious. That's why I love Twitter more than everything else. I'm gonna make sure to share that with you. I don't know if I can share this with everybody. I'll put it in the Discord. Um, but yeah, the whites may have officially won the meme race war. Uh, yeah,
Mm.
it, it, it's it's over with this one, folks. But so like you said that you don't think that it happens, or you do think that it happens. That is it in the best interest of the Democrats to replace Joe?
It is, but like I said, like you waited too long to do it. If you were gonna do it, you should have done it. You should have actually had a what's it called? You should have actually had I can't think of the word right now, but you should have actually rolled out some other candidates and made them debate and pick the delegate. Like you should have picked a nomination instead of just rolling him back out there and standing behind him and doing the whole media rollout and trying to convince us that this motherfucker ain't senile. Like they played their hand basically they tried to bluff their way into winning the hand, and it's just now we know what it is. I mean, most of us knew what it was from the jump, but
So,
you overplayed your hand.
so if he or they don't, or say if Kamala is put up, which we highly doubt, and Joe doesn't endorse Kamala, what does that say to all the black people who proudly voted for Joe Biden last election?
That they threw away 4 years of not being black for nothing.
Are they now write bandages on your ear now is a thing? This is crazy.
Well, the thing is, man, the people that support the black people that still support the Democratic Party at this point are so far gone that it really doesn't matter what they do; they're gonna support it. Like the fact, like what we've seen after the assassination attempt, the responses that we've seen tells you everything you need to know at this point. Like those people are out of their mind. Because as much as I don't support Joe Biden, had it been the other way around, I would not be happy. I would feel the same way I feel right now about what happened with Trump. So it just goes to show you where those people are mentality-wise.
Those people, like I said, they're lost, and it's unfortunate because it's just like I understand being divided. I understand, having different views on things. But you literally sit here and push this narrative that the man is the second coming of the little mustache guy, that he's going to enact all this stuff that he hasn't even, you haven't seen him associated with. They continue to push this Project 2025 narrative. You know what I mean?
Right.
And the man said he's not associated with it. His thing is Agenda 47,
Right.
But yet I see so many of these pages. And I won't say people should be
but
held accountable for information.
That's their whole MO, though, Honcho, is fear-mongering.
Yeah.
Everything that they do is based around trying to make you think that he's the second coming of the mustache man. And it's just not the case. And, like, if you had any amount of intellect, if you did any amount of your own research instead of just listening to the three-letter news media, you would see, like, they're feeding you lies. Like it's really just that simple at this point. And if you can't see that, you don't want to. And it goes back to what you were saying earlier about like when are people gonna stop accepting the lie and want the truth? The truth is hard. Like they say, the truth hurts. And people don't want to look, because if you accept the truth, then you got all these crazy motherfuckers got to look in the mirror and realize that they got duped. They've been getting duped for however many years that they've been following this bullshit agenda.
Willingly duped.
Literally. And you know how hard that is to admit that you got flim flam? Who wants to admit that you got hit with the flim flam?
Nobody.
Repeatedly.
But you been flammed. The best scram. Just you don't.
The flam and the flam.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's that's when it gets real hectic. And that's my thing, because it's just so much. And you see, the false shit getting put out there and people just eating it up. They just want to push something so bad because we live in a nation of disinformation. We live in a world of disinformation. Because again, you can easily find the source of this stuff. You can easily find the truth of this stuff. And I have a feeling, and people are gonna get mad at me, and y'all know I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. But I have a feeling that a lot of this misinformation, they get black women to campaign this stuff, right? I just seen some shit with Amanda Seals, who everybody she was talking about.
Oh my God, yeah.
And motherfuckers will believe her when it's the same motherfucker who lied on nobody. Who was the NFL player? He ended up going to become a doctor.
Yeah.
I know all these women told me he did this. One, why would they tell you specifically? Why is it just these random? You said 8 or 9 women told you specifically, like, fuck is you a therapist? Like, that he did some shit, and then the legend and just made some shit on a nigga that you've never met. Like, and
Yeah.
trying to downplay this nigga when he's taking a step up in life, and you have no actual proof of this shit. You know what I mean? And this is who we're gonna listen to for an honest opinion about some shit. But I mean, that's cool. But yeah, you see a lot of this crazy stuff, a lot of this crazy narrative, and they're willing to push the shit because it just what it gets your attention. They don't care about the fucking negative attention. So I have a belief that they do that, or he's done it because he's put in what was it? You got the black vice president who you don't want to support. You have the black judge, and there was somebody else black he put in.
You know what it is, Honcho, and I as much as I fucking hate Charlemagne, he is right when he says this: the truth does not matter when the lie is more entertaining. And if you look at where society is today, all we care about is being entertained. Everybody's in their phone 24/7 or watching something on TV. Like, nobody's interacting in the real world. Nobody's interacting with themselves on how they feel. Like, so it's all about being entertained. And what is more entertaining? Lies. Lies is the most entertaining shit there is. The drama of it all. Even if you even once you know it's a lie, it's the drama behind it, or who's telling the truth. Like, so it becomes this whole salacious thing, and people buy into it. Where on the flip side of that, the truth is cut and dry. Once you know the truth, that's it. You know, there's no drama to the truth. It is what it is, and then you got to accept that. So people don't care about what's true. People don't care about what's real anymore. They just want to be entertained. And if they got a lot of their self to be entertained, they'll do that.
Won't they? Won't they? That's a very good point, because like I say, you're absolutely right about that. The lie is more entertaining because the lie leaves open-ended, bullshit for you to try to come up with this narrative and that narrative and every other kind of, whatever. Like you said, the truth is cut and dry. It's finite. It's conclusive. So yeah, I mean, that's a very good point. So at this point, if Biden is still on the ballot, what percentage chance do you have of him being able to win?
I mean, the only chance the thing is, can you pull another? Can you rig it again? Because that's the only chance. And it's like, after what happened last time, like, are you willing to do that again? I think they are, because I really think they don't give a fuck. I think they can get away with anything. So, I mean, like, are you going to have dead people voting for him again?
I think, here's my thing, though. Like, think about it. Think about a
zombie
criminal.
Vote?
Think about a criminal, right? Like, if a criminal doesn't get caught, what does he do?
Yeah, they're gonna keep doing it. Yeah,
they keep doing it. They're gonna go on the bigger
even
game.
if they get caught, even if they get actually the ones that get caught do it more.
Right, you're absolutely correct. I was gonna go there. I was just like, but for the narrative. But yeah, you're absolutely right. But my thing is this:
because technically, Honcho, they got caught. They just want to admit that they got caught.
Yeah, it's just like, no, I didn't. No, that wasn't me. But it's like, yeah, you're absolutely right. They got caught. But as long as you have a significant number of people willing to deny it as well, it passes, even though we know what's what. So yeah, at this point, like I said, but if they work for them more once, why wouldn't they try it again? I mean, it gave them the successful outcome they wanted.
Right. And the thing is, and it's all a setup from the beginning, because that's the whole idea behind this two-party system that we're under. When you got people it's not even about the candidates. It's just about what party you represent. And when it becomes that, you don't care about what your side is doing, as long as your side wins, because that's America. Like, we want to be the winner. So you got two teams going against each other, basically, and they'll both do anything to win.
Do you want your party to be willing to do anything to win?
That's why I'm not a part of a party. And that's what I'm saying. Like, we have to come to the point as a populace where we realize this system is bullshit, and it shouldn't be about Democrat, Republican. Everybody should be independent, and everybody should run on their own independent ideals, their own independent policies, and we pick the best out of the options. That's what it should be. That sounds like real democracy to me.
I agree.
Not two sides, not two sides constantly warring against each other.
I mean, and I agree that's what it should be. But I think a couple of things. One, I think Americans as a whole are just too dumb to even be able to make that many decisions. Like Americans need somebody to tell them this is who you need to be voting for. I like this person. This person likes that person, so that's what I'm gonna go with. So and then two, who gatekeeps the process, right? Like, 'cause if you make it to where we have this open ended, I won't say open ended system, but you follow whatever rules protocol, you get your name in there. Does it complicate the process more? Because now you have more individuals, or do you have a cut only for the top? So many amount initially. Like, how do you execute this process? I find it very interesting. I think everybody should have access to the chance to become president, right? But how do you make this thing
Instead of
work?
it's simple. Instead of doing a DNC and an RNC, you do a PNC, the presidential national whatever, and you select. You got, like, some people just aren't even. It's not even realistic for you to be president, so you don't even get in. There has to be certain qualifications, and from there, the people decide. That's what it's supposed to be. And may the best man or woman or whatever you identify yourself as win.
That would be a shit show. Like, what would have to be the conditions to get in? Like, who would be? Because you have like delegates and super delegates and all that bullshit. Like, do we still secure, like, or do we just start from scratch? Like, at what point is the cutoff? Like, who gets to choose? Say, maybe the top 8, top 20 candidates. To be able to put on. 'Cause I mean, if you let everybody go who just shows up, well, this is going to be a thing for a
Well,
very,
that's
very
why I say
long
you
time.
can't. That's why I said not everybody who just shows up gets in. Like, there's some people, like, if Kanye showed up, we know, dude, you're not gonna be the president. Like, it's just certain people you just say no, bro. Like, let's be realistic
But
here.
I mean, but why wouldn't Kanye get an opportunity? I mean, he has the backing, he has the supporters, the following.
Because
Even
he's
though his
not.
ideas
Because he's not.
maybe,
Because he's not. Because he's not mentally stable. Plain and simple. You go on tirades. We don't need somebody that goes on tirades in the White House.
I mean, but why not have the tirade guy who's alert versus the guy who's probably sleep 3/4 of his term and trying to get
Well, I
reelected? But that's a
mean,
whole
if
different thing.
we comparing it to Biden, I mean, anybody, I'd rather my fucking cousin's dog be the president over Biden. At least I know I can trust
Terrible, terrible, terrible. Hold on one second. Okay, there we go. I almost had to sneeze again. But yeah, terrible. Man, and here's the deal. And I believe, like I said, there should be options. I just think that the American people aren't bright enough, but the two-party system isn't it. I think checks and balances require a little bit more than that. You know what I mean? But at this point, like I say, Americans are getting dumber and dumber. If you got kids now
but I
who in
think,
school don't know the difference, shit, I don't think you can teach people
yeah,
in the system.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying, but I think to that point, if you change the system, then it'll in some ways force people to educate themselves more on the process. It'll force people to educate themselves on the candidates and their positions on different things. Like, because now you're not just blindly saying I'm voting Democrat, I'm voting Republican. No, you have to really choose who you're voting for and why. And yeah, there's still going to be a certain amount of people that, oh, my sister's voting for this person, so I'm going to vote for this person or whatever. Yeah, there's going to be dumbasses no matter what you do. But I think that that type of system would promote more intellectual process than the one we have currently.
Hold on one moment. Just a second. Yeah. Yeah, and it's a far-fetched dream, and it's the reason, that it's been designed like this, and it's the reason that they keep it like this because, it's just
Yeah, it's a setup.
yeah,
It's a setup.
but that's what I was kind of saying earlier, that I wish people really understood the power that they possess, because
But to that
reality,
point,
this was designed for us. But, hmm?
to that point is this. It's why they fear Trump so much, because even though he's running as a Republican, he's not a part of the system. He doesn't play by their rules. Trump's doing whatever the hell Trump wants to do, and so them knowing that they have no reins on him, so to speak, it scares the living shit out of them because it's the first time in American history where they haven't had a puppet. Well, not the first time. They killed the other one. They killed JFK. But when they don't have a puppet in there, it's the same shit. They smear you. They do fear tactics, and if that doesn't work, they kill you.
Yeah, this is very true. Oh man, yeah, and that's what it is. Yeah, if the hate ain't work, they start telling lies. That's the.
And that's why they don't want to endorse RFK Jr. because he knows it all too well. He saw it happen to his uncle and his dad.
um, That's crazy.
And
Still didn't want to be a part of.
and he's not
That.
scared to say it.
Yeah, that's the crazy part. Like to be a part of all that lineage of that, and still, want to try and procure that.
But that's what I respect about him is because that really he's from that same elk because he's doing what they were
I
doing.
think
They
that
knew the truth too, and they died for it.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
unfortunate.
so yeah.
Okay. That's a bit. So election day is Donald Trump president.
I think so. I don't see any other, especially after what happened last week. Like him surviving that, I don't see how he couldn't win. Like he's, once you win the internet, you win life. So he's like at this point he's undefeated.
Yeah, yeah. That Trump is a gangster, but okay. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't see how not. If no other crazy things take place or go down. I don't see how the dude is not the president again, and I know that's gonna make some people super sick. I can't wait to see the reactions. Like the same people who were dancing in the mailboxes. Like I want live cameras of their reaction when it happens.
I mean, it's gonna be just like in 2016 where these feminists were fucking crying in the street and shit. It's gonna be the same thing. And then we're gonna have another 4 years of prosperity, and life is gonna be great. Inflation's gonna go down. Jobs are gonna go up, especially black jobs.
Nah, those black jobs.
An abundance of black jobs. All the black jobs.
All the black
The
jobs.
best black jobs.
You feel me? Yeah. I'm trying to get a couple of those. Yeah. That's super fun. But yeah, man. Okay. And that's been. Any other thoughts about what is taking place? Biden possibly having to step down or following through, or any of the other recent political activities that have taken place in the last few days or so.
I think I'm gonna just repeat it again. I haven't really said it like this, but basically the Democratic Party screwed themselves. If Biden does a Freudian slip, because we know Obama's really running shit still. But if Biden stays the nominee, they're gonna lose. And if they try to replace him at this point, they're gonna lose. Like there's no way around it. They fucked themselves. I think they know it, and I think that's why we see the desperation coming from their side of things, and that's why they tried to off the man.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said,
But to
what?
but to quote 50 Cent, like 50 Cent said, "Hey, get your money, get your refund, motherfucker. I ain't dead."
Yeah. And that's just the whole line there. And that's a BET. Okay, okay. I appreciate that, Mr. J Mail. Appreciate you calling in
No.
and sharing your thoughts with me this evening.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to J Mail, man. We definitely appreciate the
Definitely
call.
appreciate the call.
Uh, so here's the deal. Let me see. Got about 11. I'm gonna show y'all a couple of things. But first, shout out to Black Trump. I'm pretty sure Netflix will make it. But look, man, look. Netflix, like, see, this is what I'm saying, and it's always, pardon me, little thing, it's always ugly people, like, and not all ugly people. I'm ugly, you know, somebody. There's a whole group of little ugly, long faced motherfuckers. And some people love me, mama love me, but just ugly people who probably ain't too much loved by too much anybody. It's some of those ones who just complain about everything, like, oh, you don't look like a mainstream character. Your features are terrible. It is what it is. Some people get a shitty roll of it. Some people just roll snake eyes. Some people just have to snake eyes, motherfucker. Like it just somebody has to, right? Like it's somebody has. Now, if you got money, like the Kardashians, you can fix those problems. But somebody has to. And these are the people that make life terrible. These are the people that complain about everything, that bitch about everything. And these are the people that make these major corporations think that people want this shit. These are the motherfuckers who do all the crime for black people. Like I can't stand to cry about everything. So I have to the motherfuckers come out of school are retarded now. Standards are lower. Like, look, it makes me like I say, when I hear those kind of things and people think that's a win, when I hear the news that standards are lower for certain black students, certain black professions, think you does that make you want to use those said professions? Does it make you feel like maybe I need to go to a more qualified Caucasian doctor, preferably some Asian, East Indian. But I said I was going to show y'all something. I couldn't find a video that I was looking for while I was doing it, but I've seen a bunch. I love Twitter, but Twitter's a terrible place. I've seen so many terrible things. I saw a meme. I'm going to share it with y'all because I only feel like I have to at this point. And black delegation, we took the L, man. We have taken the L. What else? I don't know what to talk about. I think I sent Trill a whole bunch of shit. I don't think he watches half of it. Like, what he probably fucking covering, but what the fuck is this nigga saying? Uh, it's generally has something to do stuff to do with lot lizards and truck and shit and outrageous stuff. Okay, before I show y'all the meme, so we talk about witchcraft and wizardry, and this picture's been going viral again. And this is actually an old picture. I saw this. I want to say either early this year or maybe late last year. But fellas, what do you think about this? The first picture is a dating profile picture. The second picture is a mugshot. And I'm pretty sure me saying mugshot already has deterred some of you. Hey, I want that record be checkered. Don't let this stop you. What do you think about this? What do y'all What do y'all think about this, right? Like, don't tase me, bro. What do y'all think about this? This right here, right? Because I hear, ladies, I couldn't just let y'all get free. I gotta say something. I hear all the complaining that women do about men these days, right? I know there may be certain men out there who do accent their faces, and hey, that's them if that's what they want to do. You cannot convince me. Like when I say when there's witchcraft and magic and wizardry and stuff like that, I don't think people really meant that, there's blue clouds of smoke going on and there was fucking mice dance with brooms and, cauldrons and shit like that. Sure, those cauldrons cause sicknesses and cause reactions in the body that were probably mostly negative. Whatever. But I don't think, all the stuff that is used in cartoons to make it look like so in movies. This is witchcraft and magic. The ability to look like one person and then look like something entirely different. And I'm just saying, well, you can't see it. I'm just saying from the head up, right? Don't let the lingerie, like bitches be wearing these wrestling outfits out now. That shit is like stripper overdraw attire. Like y'all wear this shit to the club, like and you're sexualizing and objectifying. Oh, bitch, you objectify your goddamn self. Anyway, just you know, accessoried up. But here's the thing: like, I don't feel bad for any man who gets duped, right, by a situation like this. I don't feel any man who gets conned in a situation like this because you can see when a broad wears a shit ton of makeup. All right, like, Hunter, what does this have to do with about? It has nothing to do with it. You know what I'm saying? This is the den. We do whatever the fuck we want to do. That's what I tell y'all. All the makeup, all the extra shit, bro. No, don't fall for like, oh, but no, she's not. No, she's not. I seen a post and the chick was like, she was dressed all down, no makeup on. She said, man, I know y'all niggas will holler at anything because I'm looking like this. Because that's what niggas want to see you at your worst, right? And fellas, correct me if I'm wrong. Sure, you want to see her looking good when you meet her. But if you see a broad at her worst, and what I mean her worst is not like she's selling ass on the corner for $20, like smoking rocks worst. I just mean, dress down worst. Like as far as maybe going out just go run grab something quick so you want to do all the makeup all extra, right? And you're attracted to her then with all the falsity, all the fakery, all the finagling, that you can deal with that. We all know what it is, but it's fake. Some niggas entertain it. I prefer to not. Absolutely not. Like, because you're not that same level of confidence when you don't have your clown bag, right? So I want to know the person who comes with the core model. You feel me? It is what it is. I just thought about it now. We gonna have a more free range conversation tomorrow because I got some videos I need to share with y'all that need to be addressed. We got plenty to talk about. Um, what'd you say? Man, look, I was looking at something. Did I? I didn't look. I don't be knowing. But you know how I look. When I put the phone down, I'm on the other things, and I come back around. I'll find wherever I put it because too much black stuff, and the phone was black, and I put on black stuff, so I'll lose it, and I'll be like, "Fuck it, I'll find it later." So I yeah, we'll come back to that. But this right here, right? And I'm not even dogging. I'm not even like I'm trying to be a better man, right? I'm trying to just be a better person overall for my spirit and my well being and my chakra. Um, I'm just trying to. I'm not capping, right? You're born with what God gave, you, right? And there's things you can do to improve it. There's things you can do to make it worse, right? It is what it is. In my personal behavior, putting alternatively textured hair and covering your face in a layer of powder that is a different shade. than your natural skin. It's just that just doesn't do it for me, right? That's just not my cup of tea, right? So there's that. That's just me. Everybody else is entitled to feel how they want to feel, but I feel like if you can find attractive in a woman at her worst, right, and looking crazy as cat shit, then like I say, the additional shit, it ain't shit because you mean yeah, you can do stuff, but you know it ain't real. That ain't what you want. That ain't what you're there for. A lot of niggas get duped by the other shit. A lot of niggas get duped by the makeup and shit. Like you know that shit fake just so she can paint well on her fucking face. Don't make her a bad broad, right? There's some women who are fine. There's some women who are beautiful, right? There's a difference. And fine just means you got a nice body. Beautiful is a facial body combination thing. I might have gave y'all some game y'all ain't know about. Fine is more refined for the butterface, right? I'm really trying to find this thing. I might probably show it to y'all tomorrow. Because it just ain't showing up. It is what it is. So with that said, there is that. Okay, so it is about that time. I didn't realize I ran with that long. I was gonna show y'all one more thing real quick, and then we're gonna call this a wrap. I'm gonna show y'all the meme, and yeah, niggas, we gotta do better. Wait for Oxtail. That's a funny ass name. I didn't say anything negative or positive about the young lady. By 1:50 a.m. Last call for alcohol. We've all had some decisions that we've made that we may regret, right? I didn't say anything, right? Players fuck up. Sometimes even the most premium of players make a bronze level decision. You know what I'm talking about? Right, right. I'm just saying, exactly. Like, so if I'd have went to sleep and it was one broad, and I wake up, it's the other. I have the right to ask some questions, right? I have the right to ask some questions about what has happened, bro. This shit right here, bro. This shit right here. There is no amount of unseasoned jokes, right? Like there is. How? Like I like the black coalition needs to come together and have a meeting of the minds at this point. Because this shit right here, nigga, I don't even know how you do it. I don't even know how you do it. Here's the deal. It's about that time. Shout out to each and every one of y'all, man. I appreciate y'all. I do. I love y'all. Let me close this. Let me close the thing out. I love y'all. And as always, it is my honor. It is my privilege. More than anything, it is truly my pleasure. Thank y'all for allowing me to be a part of your life. And I appreciate you for being a part of mine. So with that being said, I'm Chuck and Produce. I keep forgetting because I got shit set up a little different. Chuck and Produce. Y'all be cool like y'all be cool. And y'all take care of yourself, man. I am not hopping in the Discord after this, but if y'all choose to, you know, make sure y'all let me know if anything interesting happens. But with that being said, I'm out. Go. And mañana. I don't know if I got a question on the trivia thing. I'll post a poll or something like that in the Discord on the page. All right. I'm out. Go. Adios. Cool. Peace. All that good shit. Good night, everybody.